Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And,
So
and again, that was kind of I mean, I went to a store and somebody was talking about it. He's going to be here at 4:00, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So I went in my renovation clothes and everything. We just went.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
It was amazing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, it's almost like was another big empower point just to have like advertising like live in the shed. That was here. Yeah. It was amazing. This morning I had the opportunity to look what you have film for Tamara and for James, and that it's. I cannot say it's too bad that we didn't see that before, but it gives such a great education for the rest of the people to do a bigger and stronger movement. What you have filmed, and so many people so far have seen it. Both of those heroes that we had here in North Bay. So it's a great stepping stone. I find that having those people that was with us yesterday in North Bay.
Absolutely, you're right. So like having the ability to broadcast the story to a much bigger audience, by traveling, by having Nicole and Sam travel and be able to tell their story with lives and interviews, and like everybody finds the little day-to-day stuff interesting, right? So it gives us all a chance to get on board, right, and be part of the march. Doesn't matter where you're from, and quite literally, there's going to be an opportunity for everybody to be marching right outside of Ottawa and moving forward, so people can join the march.
Yes.
On the second last day, I think it's going to be the 30th. There's going to be a lot more information online, but starting on the 30th, people can join the march heading into Ottawa. So that's going to be a pretty amazing opportunity. But at these events between here and there, people can still come out and do the meet and greets. And we had an amazing meet and greets, and you guys were involved in the coordination, like you've been involved in a lot of the community organizing in the last couple of years. So let me ask you, Francine, to start with, how was it that you found yourself involved in, Freedom Fund? Because I don't think you saw yourself here 3 years ago, right?
No, not at all, not at all. So it's when the COVID hit, it was quite a big movement because I'm a business owner, and having all those mandates that was starting to apply, it created a huge stress on the business, on the company. It's a cleaning company, and all in commercial. So we saw commercial building closing down. We saw the mandate have to be there, vaccine people. So we had to educate ourselves, and it was really stressful because, like for me, I don't believe in that, and how we approach for the staff and how we approach for the employer, it created a really, really big stress over our company, and and a lot of time when you look into those social media to find solution, because when you're in business, when you're an entrepreneur, it's because you have a problem and you have to solve. So you always try to find a solution. And so look to everywhere, there's social medias and groups and stuff. The notice of liability was their favorite thing. So it was super important to educate the people, because I knew I was not the only one in this world being stressed out. And so that's why I dedicated my time to become the leader for North Bay as Action for Canada. So, and it's so important. People think it's over, and I hear a lot of times that, why are you still fighting for the mandates, because it's all gone? Oh, I would love that, to say that's over, but it's not. We still have to fight for our freedom, and also for making sure that the federal level drop those mandates. So we still have lots to do, and that's why I'm still here and dedicating myself 100%.
That's beautiful. I got to say that, both of you guys inspired me very early on. I think the convoy led a lot of people to the forefront of this movement. Because it introduced each other, it introduced us to each other.
Yes.
And then we realized that we were not alone, and that we had an opportunity to work together to make the change that we wanted to see. And so I also look at it there, there's a lot of trailblazers, right? There's a lot of trailblazers in North Bay that were here and fighting the good fight for the last couple of years, because they recognized early on the way, a lot did, that this was wrong, that this was not right, this is not how we treat each other. But they were very active from the beginning, right? That really started to move things very, very early on, and we're extremely grateful for them. So, Cindy, tell me a little bit about your experience and how you came to be a freedom fighter and get involved with Action for Canada.
Well, I've been a fighter my whole life. Right, my mom, she was in the union, and so by the time I was 5, I was out with protest sign. And my job, like I worked in a union shop, and I became the health and safety rep. So again, always fighting for the one who didn't have the voice to fight for themselves. Right, so it just kind of comes natural. And early on, the Northern Freedom Alliance was having rallies down at the waterfront. So I went to a couple of them, and I started to meet people a little bit, and Facebook friends, and just the networking. And but I like what Francine was saying. Action for Canada. It's about action, not just sitting back and waiting for the other guy to do it. And I was like, as soon as I heard about it, she talked on Wednesday at one of the meetings, and on the following Tuesday I was there, and we were doing the notice of liabilities, and it's just been a ride since.
Yeah, so that's really interesting. One of the reasons why I was so intrigued and so interested in Action for Canada pretty early on is because the notice of liabilities, it's an organization that takes the legal levers very seriously, right? We have tools at our disposal that we can use to shape the country that we want to live in, and it's about organizing, right? It's about understanding the laws, understanding the legislation that's coming through and that affects us now, and what are those tools, finding them out, and then educating each other, right? So Action for Canada has been really focused in on educating Canadians, educating each other, and organizing each other so that we can properly operate with the challenges in front of us, and then also make the changes that we need to embed our communities, right? To strengthen our communities and strengthen each other, and really fight the good fight. Because I think in a lot of ways, this movement ultimately is about working in service to each other to create the country we want to live in. And I think maybe for even a few years before COVID, we lost sight of that.
Yes, exactly. That's right.
None of this would have been possible. COVID and the lockdowns would have been possible, in a sense, if we hadn't disengaged from our civic duty, from our responsibility, from voting, from speaking with our politicians and letting them know what's going on. So what do we have planned? What do you think the next steps are in the next few months to make sure that we're seizing control of these levers?
Yes, exactly. That's right. Just before I asked the question, is Action for Canada is really based with the faith, family, and freedom, and that's what you were just saying earlier. That it could be as much as it's a coercion that we are going through and all that. It could be a blessing in the sky, because before the COVID, the faith, the family, and the freedom, we didn't take it for granted. So it was it did need sometime a huge obstacle like that to do a huge wake up call, so we can get back the gratitude and all that. And so now with our future project for North Bay, because the Action for Canada have their agenda, but it's really work in together, finding the priorities. So right now the priority is to really look, those bills are coming over in the Common House, and how we have to educate the people how we need to take action. So how to write to our MPs and NPPs. It sounds easy. A lot of time it's send the message, but a lot of time the issue that we saw is we need to almost taking the people's hand and do step by step with them to understand the drill. And so if we're able to educate the people to that version, it might going to be able to help to shift what James was showing yesterday, shift the law to our favor. So that is a big one that we have to do.
All right, James's lunch is over and he's getting ready to get on the road again. We do have more people arriving here, which is great.
And then I looked at his message.
So a few more people are here to jump in on the march. This is perfect because instead of stopping on the highway and trying to jump in with him, they stopped here, which is a very good, safe spot for people to come and join in on James's march. So I'm gonna walk over here and try and get a different perspective for when they start to march, because he will just start.
For the shoes, okay? Some of the guys they brought in, okay, to address like security.
I like.
Hold it faster.
Hold it faster. Close.
I have a head sunburn.
Oh, do you? That's perfect. Safety first.
I don't, kinda, and I don't wear hats a lot, so I don't actually own a hat. So just toques.
Just toques.
Yeah. So this is. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What are we doing?
All right.
If you're marching, we're headed out.
Dave, quick question. I just want to get a picture of you, not with me. Go if you're going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get the shed ready.
Okay. Yeah.
Sweet.
All right. We are going to try to get an interview with the owner of the property here. She's been speaking out and standing up the entire time. Get out here.
What it's about. What are you gonna do?